Good afternoon, and welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program.
This program is brought to you by the Southwest TV Translator Association and supported by the Dolores County Broadcasting Network on DCTV.
The News at Noon program is the best assembly of news and local weather for the Four Corners region. Give us your feedback and news alerts at 677-4119.
With all that said, I'm Kendra Cook and my co-hosts are Kelsey Kiesling and Jerry Tope. And now, here's what's in the news for you for May 31st, 2016. The Cortez Journal reported the Bureau of Reclamation has awarded a contract for $1.4 million to Pyramid Enterprises, Inc. of Valencia, California, to provide aquatic invasive species inspection services for watercrafts entering Elephant Butte and Navajo reservoirs in New Mexico. Aquatic invasive species continue to be a threat to waters in New Mexico. Currently, every state adjacent to New Mexico has one or more water bodies with a population of zebra and quagga mussels. The New Mexico Department of Game and Fish has 4 seasonal aquatic invasive species technicians to provide outreach and conduct inspections, decontaminations on watercraft entering Navajo Reservoir. Officials at Reclamation and the New Mexico Department of Game and Fish determined there is a need to expand watercraft inspections to include Elephant Butte Reservoir. Given the volume of annual visitation at Elephant Butte Reservoir and Navajo Reservoir, and the number of boat ramps available for watercraft owners, inspections done by the Department of Game and Fish staff alone is not feasible. This contract will provide additional inspection services. A low-risk watercraft inspection is expected to last between 1 and 3 minutes, and a high-risk inspection to last between 3 and 6. This contract will ensure staffing at levels to efficiently inspect all motorized watercraft entering Elephant Butte Reservoir and Navajo Reservoir while keeping wait times and traffic backups to a minimum. Currently, there is not an inspection requirement of non-motorized watercraft. However, if an owner of a canoe, paddleboard, kayak, etc. enters the inspection station, the staff will use the opportunity to provide public outreach regarding aquatic invasive species and will inspect the vehicle if asked by the owner.
According to the Durango Herald, a conductor on a scenic Colorado train filled with passengers died when she was run over by the train as it was backing up, the Fremont County Sheriff's Office said Sunday. Leslie Casey, 28, of Canyon City, was standing near the rear of the Royal Gorge Railroad train Saturday evening when she fell as it was backing up to the station about 4 miles away. The Sheriff's Office says in a statement on its Facebook page. The train goes forward into the canyon, then backs up to return to the station in Canyon City, Sheriff's Office spokeswoman Megan Richards said. There are about 200 people on the train, authorities said. Another train was sent to pick up passengers who were on the train when the woman fell. An autopsy is planned later in the week. The Royal Gorge is about 10 miles long, with the Arkansas River running through it and the railroad running along its banks. Its granite walls soar over 1,000 feet. The gorge has one of the nation's highest suspension bridges connecting both sides of the gorge, where thousands of tourists a year walk across and look over the edge, trying to spot rafters who take on some of the toughest whitewater routes in the country. The railroad issued a statement Sunday on its Facebook page saying the company will not be running the train for the next few days, and anyone with reservations will get refunds or they can reschedule. We are a family-run business, and our team members are like family to us. Our hearts are broken, railroad officials said in the statement.
From the Cortez Journal, members of the Sri Chinmoy Oneness Home Peace Run passed through Cortez on Thursday, May 26th. It was the second consecutive year that the Peace Run, a torch relay by international volunteers, stopped in Cortez. Each year, the Peace Run visits schools, civic clubs, and government officials in more than 100 nations. Residents in host cities can meet the runners and carry the torch. The Sri Chinmoy Oneness Home Peace Run laps the United States, going south to Mexico at the western leg and north to Canada on the eastbound leg over 4 months. The run started in New York in April and plans to finish there in August. A European run began in February in Portugal and will end in October in Rome, covering 16,000 miles. After visiting Cortez, runners headed to Monument Valley. The women visited with the San Juan Foundation and were joined by students from Monument Valley High School. The team heads south to Tijuana, Mexico, then San Diego. Runners will then go up the Pacific coast to Seattle and Vancouver, turn east to Winnipeg, then through Minneapolis, Chicago, and Michigan to Toronto and Montreal. It then heads south through New England to New York, completing its lap in August. The run was started in 1987 by Sri Chinmoy, a spiritual leader who advocated meditation and athleticism. More information can be found online at peacerun.org.
According to the Denver Post, newly released documents show authorities believe the killing of Colorado's prison chief was ordered by members of a white supremacist prison gang, the clearest indication yet that more than one person was involved in the slaying. An investigative report obtained by the Denver Post alleges the leader of the 211 crew in Colorado Springs ordered the killing of Tom Clements, and some of the gang's members helped alleged gunman Evan Ebel flee to Texas, where he died in a shootout with authorities. Investigators say Ebel, who had been recently paroled, shot Clements when he answered his front door in Monument on March 19, 2013. Texas Ranger James Holland, who submitted the 77-page report in May 2013, wrote what Colorado officials still have not acknowledged, that the murder of the Colorado Department of Corrections director was ordered by hierarchy of the 211 prison crew. Authorities in Colorado have said Ebel, 28, was the only suspect. James Jimbo Lore, the gang's ranking leader in Colorado Springs, told a fellow gang member and confidential informant that he ordered Ebel to assassinate Clements, according to Holland's report. The informant told investigators that Ebel killed Clements to try to redeem himself after a falling out with Ben Davis, the founder of the Colorado prison gang.
According to the Durango Herald, a requirement for medical marijuana dispensaries and growers to have their products tested could be a boon for Durango testing facilities if a local license is in place in time. The state's mandatory testing rule takes effect July 1st, and Orem Labs and Green Lab Solutions are asking city officials to create a license for the testing, owners said. The labs test for marijuana potency, mold, and bacteria. Their request is reasonable, said Councilor Dick White, who was approached by Orem Labs representatives about creating a city license. But city officials want to work on several changes to local marijuana regulations, including the new license, and pass them at the same time. White could not say how long that might take. Mandatory testing requirements for medical marijuana was set by the Colorado General Assembly last year. White does expect the council will eventually approve the new license. We were supportive of them starting their testing business. I don't foresee that changing, he said of Orem. Orem Labs expects business could double or triple under the new requirements, said co-owner Luke Mason. To prepare for the demand, the business is slightly overstaffed with 8 employees. However, if Orem cannot get a local testing license in time, medical cultivation facilities may go elsewhere. Orem Labs is one of 14 testing facilities statewide to handle the demand from 540 recreational cultivation facilities, according to the state's Marijuana Enforcement Division. About half of Orem's clients are front-range growers, Mason said. The mandatory testing rule will affect 780 medical marijuana facilities statewide. Accounting for some who may be voluntarily testing their medical marijuana, hundreds of grow facilities will likely be in need of testing services, said Steve Ottersberg, owner of the Green Lab Solutions Company. Ottersberg has applied for a state license to test medical marijuana so he can be ready when his business opens in late June or early July in Bodo Industrial Park. Ottersberg, a career chemist, said testing across the state is becoming more standardized, and the process to become an accredited lab is stringent. He said the state of Colorado is going to great lengths to ensure that product safety is a high priority. While labs do not test for pesticides or edible products yet, those regulations are in the works.
According to the Durango Herald, San Juan College in Farmington might stop offering classes for aspiring medical laboratory technicians. If that happens, one of the few regional sources of qualified lab workers for hospitals in the area will go away, said Southwest Health Systems Lab Director David Davis. If they close the program, they're doing a disservice to the community, Davis said. Medical laboratory technicians, or MLTs, work behind the scenes performing tests in hospital laboratories. San Juan College has suspended registration for an introductory MLT course, and board members will discuss the decision at their meeting June 7th, said Davis, who also is on the advisory committee for San Juan College's MLT program. The closest schools that offer similar MLT programs are Colorado Mesa University in Grand Junction and the University of New Mexico Gallup campus. As the medical laboratory workforce is aging nationwide, many workers are facing retirement, and the field could soon experience a dire shortage. Young people looking to pursue an education in the medical field might be less likely to choose an MLT track than a pharmacy or nursing degree because lab techs work behind the scenes, Davis said. But without lab workers, doctors couldn't diagnose their patients. If local medical operations can't find lab workers close to home, they'll have to contract employees who are more expensive. Employing those workers would contribute to increasing costs, and healthcare costs are already high. And now here's our weather report.
Eastern Utah and western Colorado have enough of a remnant of moisture and instability for a slight possibility of afternoon showers and thunderstorms. Those would likely be over higher elevations in Colorado and unlikely in most valleys. Present conditions are not strong enough to force the moisture. So not much precipitation is expected even over the Divide and the San Juans, where the slim but best chances exist. There is a slightly higher chance for those same locations tomorrow. This is because a system that traveled all around our area while avoiding us is currently in New Mexico and will migrate to the north, again just east of our broadcast area. By Thursday, we are expecting the buildup of a high-pressure ridge in the Great Basin that will cause dry and quite warm temperatures for the desert southwest. Highs are expected to reach near 90 in the lower valleys, so from Thursday to late Sunday will be dry. Late Sunday, Gulf of Mexico moisture is expected to stream into the western Colorado mountains and give some increased activity early next week. So far, the expectation is for the moisture to be east of our location. The low moving east across the northern plains and extending into the southern plains will produce lots of showers and thunderstorms along and ahead of its front from Texas to the upper Great Lakes. Locally heavy rain and flash flooding are possible today and tonight in the southern plains and upper Midwest. Tomorrow we'll see the northern parts of this system cross the Great Lakes and move into Ontario, and the tail end will move slowly across Texas tomorrow and Thursday. Bonnie, the post-tropical cyclone, will drift slowly over the east coast of the Carolinas for a couple of days more, and scattered showers and thunderstorms will continue in southeastern states through tomorrow. By Thursday morning, Bonnie will be absorbed by a front approaching from the north. The high coming into our forecast region will lead to temperatures 10 to 20 degrees above average across the west coast. These higher temps will reach into the Great Basin and Intermountain region at about 15 degrees above average. Central California valleys and lower elevations in the southwest may just get to the over 100-degree mark as the high pressure system reaches its peak. If you've been watching DCTV News at Noon over the past few days, you'll note that our high temps predicted for the next few days have been climbing. It's possible that these may climb more by tomorrow's broadcast. We will climb through the 80s at least, and nighttime temps through the 40s and into the lower 50s is our best guess at this time. After tomorrow, dry and warm is the rule and no moisture in sight till next week. Winds should not be bad, so it really is farm and garden time now. Now back to the news.
According to the Durango Herald, Cortez City Council members on Tuesday unanimously voted to approve a site plan for the Southwest Memorial Hospital expansion project. The expansion includes a 25,000 square foot patient addition, a 25,000 square foot medical office building, and an 8,000 square foot emergency room addition, according to city documents. The existing hospital is about 100,000 square feet, and the expansions will bring it to just over 164,000 square feet. The hospital campus at 1131 North Mildred Road is about 16 acres, and just over half that will be changed during construction. The emergency room expansion and the patient wing will be added to the existing building extending north from the current hospital site, according to project documents. The office building will be added on the south side of the hospital campus. Ralph Wagner, owners representative for the hospital project, said he expects some construction to start in late summer or early fall. However, the construction will continue for a number of years, he said. Wagner said the public will be pleased with the renovations.
According to Denver's Fox 31 News, if you haven't gotten a new driver's license in a while, be ready for a surprise. New technology is changing the old smile and say cheese tradition. Facial recognition doesn't like a goofy-looking smile. So the Department of Motor Vehicles is having people who are getting licenses to take off their glasses and to not smile, all in the name of improved security. A few weeks ago, the DMV started issuing new look licenses. What appears to be a black and white picture replaces the old color photo. Lynn Granger with the Colorado Department of Revenue said, "We're hearing from a lot of customers right now, why is my photo appearing in grayscale instead of color? They think that the color photo would help with more facial recognition, and actually that's not the case. The grayscale photo actually increases facial recognition. And that means no more saying cheese. Why can't I smile? Because that's what they're requiring now," Granger said. New cameras take a photo that enhances specific features on each person's face. With encrypted information on each license, it makes it nearly impossible to copy. But an unobstructed view is needed, so the glasses have to be taken off and a serious look given. I had to take my glasses off, and then when I smiled, he asked me not to smile, and that again is to enhance those facial features as they're laser engraved in grayscale on the document, Granger said. Facial recognition is the future of global security. Granger said that because the software is proprietary, the DMV can't show how it analyzes a person's features. The color photo does remain on file here at the DMV, and then the grayscale photo appears on the actual document itself, so when law enforcement officials need to recognize or identify somebody, they actually have both, Granger said. And it's not costing taxpayers any more money. So there you have it, even an uglier and sadder photo ID for us in the future.
According to the Durango Herald, Eric Melvin of Greeley didn't expect that taking his deaf dog, Angelin, to the pause on the promenade in 2007 would launch a career, a passion, and a worldwide recognition. Their win in the Dog Talent Show led to the creation of Eric and Angelin, the amazing deaf cattle dog, a full trick demonstration tied to inspirational messages, entertainment, and character education, the Loveland Reporter Herald reported. On May 28th, Melvin will be retiring the performance part of his work with Angelin, a 10-year-old Australian cattle dog, but will continue the bookings he has scheduled through the year. His focus will be on inspiring, educating, and raising awareness about the deaf dog community through speaking engagements and educational presentations, and on writing a book about his life and career with Angelin. His message will be on visible and invisible disabilities and overcoming challenges, he said. Eric and Angelin's retirement and career retrospective celebration will be at the same spot at the Promenade Shops at Cantera, where the two made their first public appearance on June 9, 2007. Melvin will speak about their career and life together and do a mini demonstration of the obedient skills and tricks he and Angelin developed using special commands. He will have scrapbooks, photographs, memorabilia, and other items from their career and history on display. Angelin responds to 63 different cues that include hand signals, touch, lights, body language, facial expressions, and vibrations. She can sit, lie down, wait, and stand. She can catch balls, do jumping tricks, and wait with a treat on her nose and flip it into her mouth. Melvin and Angelin will give their 500th presentation June 7th, a week after their retirement celebration. The two have traveled 170,000 miles by road to visit schools, churches, senior centers, businesses, bookstores, libraries, animal rescue fundraisers, and pet expos.
An article in the Durango Herald states that a French auction house withdrew a Pueblo shield from a contested sale of Native American artifacts Monday after protests from the United States. U.S. Embassy spokesman Phil Frayne called it a small victory in a larger battle to repatriate tribal artifacts to their original homes. Frayne told the Associated Press that the U.S. government believes the 19th century shield might have been taken illegally in the 1970s, and so it was withdrawn by drought just before the auction Monday. The sale of the object, a large disc with a colored face in pigment adorned in bird feathers that was estimated to fetch up to $7,800, is now suspended pending further examination. Protesters waved banners outside Drought that read "Cultural Genocide" and "Sacred Not for Sale." But a member of the Tlingit indigenous community, Crystal Worrell, who came to Drought to protest, left Monday's sale surprisingly optimistic. Today, one item being able to be repatriated is a small step, but a necessary step to the bigger picture, Worrell said. She said the shield has cultural values that need to be passed on to the next generations, and it excites me to know that there is hope for the future. A total of 313 lots were auctioned in a relatively empty and quiet sale in which bids often fail to meet the predicted catalog prices. 12 sacred Kachina masks went under the hammer for $129,000, with the most precious, the Crow Mother, going for $42,300, about a third less than expected. Past sales of tribal artifacts in Paris have been opposed by Native American representatives who consider them sacred and believe they were once stolen from tribes.
And now the Dolores County Sheriff's Roundup for the week of May 23rd through May 29th. A resident reported a missing black Chihuahua dog. Montezuma County Sheriff's Office requested a Dolores County deputy to assist in a call regarding a suspicious vehicle near the county line. The Sheriff's Office received a report of a stolen dirt bike from a local residence. The case is under investigation. The Sheriff's Office referred a wildlife complaint to Colorado Parks and Wildlife. A deputy investigated a report of irrigation water spraying on county roads, delaying important work on the roadways. That's it for today's Roundup. Stay tuned this week for more updates.
And in today's High Country happenings, Wednesday, June 1st, the Colorado National Guard's 101 Army Winds Band gives a free concert, 6 p.m. at the Montezuma Cortez High School Auditorium in Cortez. Saturday, June 4th, Master Gardeners share their secrets on Planting Day, which is June 4th, at 10 a.m. at the Anasazi Heritage Center Plaza near Dolores. The series concludes on Saturday, July 9th at 10 a.m. with a presentation called Weeds and Things at the Anasazi Heritage Center Plaza. For details, contact the plaza at 970-882-5600. Sunday, June 5th, Dolores County Junior Rodeo Series starts at the Dolores County Fairgrounds here in Dove Creek. Check-in is at 8:30 a.m. The rodeo begins at 9. For details, check out the Dolores County Junior Rodeo on Facebook. Friday, June 10th, the third annual Rob Yates Memorial Golf Tournament will be held starting at 8 a.m. at the Conquistador Golf Course in Cortez. For more information on entering or becoming a sponsor, contact Marty Spitzer at 970-739-0447 or check out their event page on Facebook. All of the event listings are available on our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page. If you have a suggestion, you can email us at dcbnnews@gmail.com or call the station at 677-4119.
Again, thanks for tuning in. This program is aired live at noon, Monday through Wednesday, and rebroadcast at 2:30 and 8 p.m. on Channel 32.1 Dolores County, on Channel 30.4 in Montezuma County, and their cable Channel 5.
And you can also rewatch the broadcasts on YouTube. Search DCTV News at Noon, and please like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Talk Tuesday will return next week on June 7th with an in-studio guest, Kathleen Kiesling, to discuss the launch of the new Dolores County Farmers Market this summer. So we'll be talking fresh produce next week. Mark your calendar.
For Kendra Cook, Jerry Tope, and all those who are working to bring you DCTV and the News at Noon program from Dove Creek, USA, I'm Kelsey Kiesling. See you next time.